Let's have ourselves a little chinwag about the Jags' new head coach. And to do that, we bring in our Jonathan Jones, who has his latest NFL Insider column up on CBSSports.com. But JJ, before we get to the conversation about Doug Pederson, we have to acknowledge there is some hardware behind you in the shot. Can you please explain what that shining thing is?
Yeah, it's a bit ostentatious, Jeremy, but it is my 2021 That Other Pregame Show championship trophy. I won the picks segment each week, or ultimately the culmination of all of the weeks on CBS Sports Network. And so I received this beautiful trophy, and I just wanted to, have it in the background. It's just a minor reminder of how successful I was at prognosticating the outcomes of games this year.
And JJ, you're fantastic on the pregame show. We love you, and it's great to see the hardware. Yeah, show it off. All right, let's talk about Doug Pederson. Returns to the league after a one-year hiatus. He was their first head coach interview for the Jags and turns out to be their last. But was he just the last best available option at this point?
It's interesting, Jeremy, and he has some hardware to show off himself, right? He has that Super Bowl, not trophy, but ring to his name, of course, with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Shad Khan, in a statement, essentially said as much. Hey, he led one franchise to their first Super Bowl. Hopefully he can recreate that magic here in Duval County. To your question of whether he was the last best option, perhaps. Right now, and really for the past couple weeks, it has been difficult to really get a clear picture of what's been going on in Jacksonville. I can tell you the main issue has been, of course, General Manager Trent Baalke. That is what everyone said before this search really got started up. That was 7 weeks ago, Jeremy, that Urban Meyer was relieved of his duties, and now they finally have a head coach. Of course, they could have interviewed Doug Pederson the next day. They couldn't have filled that job the next day based off of Rooney Rule requirements and fulfillments, but the fact is that it took them 7 weeks to land on the guy who was their first interview. And why is that? It is because, ultimately, of Trent Baalke. It is because of questions about alignment. I would like to believe that if an average general manager had been in that position, that last week Byron Leftwich probably would have been the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But it was Baalke, and for whatever reason or reasons, Leftwich decided not to work with him. The Jags basically had to reopen their search. That's what we saw as they started to talk with others. And so now it's Doug Pederson, and who else could it be? I reported yesterday that former Minnesota Vikings general manager Rick Spielman is in the mix there in Jacksonville. What exactly is going to be his title? Is it going to be Tom Coughlin, Executive Vice President of Football Operations? I'm told maybe not, but there's a lot of back and forth right now about organizational hierarchy. If he would report to Shad Khan, if Trent Baalke would report to Rick Spielman, if Doug Pederson goes to both Spielman and Baalke, that's all trying to be worked out. But I would anticipate that Rick Spielman ultimately joins the Jaguars organization unless something very Jaguars-like happens, and he does not.
Well, a positive thing is for them to get a quarterback, whether it was Leftwich or Pederson, to get a quarterback coach for a young quarterback, certainly something that could help Trevor Lawrence's development.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.